Good morning, Greater Lake Houston area. I am John Ramoyne, and I'm here supporting Bob with RadioKair this morning from beautiful downtown Humble. Little cooler weather outside, thankfully. It looks like the summer finally broke, and we got some fall weather, which is awesome for, I think, everybody in our community. It was a long summer, so I'm getting to spend this great morning with Miss Andrea Shin from Platinum Copier Solutions. Me and her have met each other several times through Chambers of Commerce events, through BNI events, those kind of things. She's very embedded in the business community in our area. And first, I want to thank her for spending some time with us this morning.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
And I get to showcase another woman-owned business in our community, which is awesome. We love our vets. We love our women-owned businesses, and we're happy to get to showcase her. And I want to start off with, you're a little newer to the business community as far as the networking community, so I wanted to understand a little bit about you personally, so people have a reference point of where you come from whenever they are introduced to you and when they do watch this. So tell us a little bit about where you're from, family, where you reside, all those kind of things, so we can understand a little bit about you personally.
Okay, perfect. I'm Andrea Shin. I currently live out in Huffman. I grew up in Spring, the Klein area, went to Klein High School. I also graduated from the University of Texas, Austin. Moved into the oil and gas business. Then I decided to raise my children for several years and got into the copier world and just love it. We reside in Huffman, like I said. So does the owner of the company. So it's just great. We've been friends for several years.
Yeah. A couple of things. It sounds like you spent most of your life in the greater Houston area, correct?
I did, yes.
Yeah, right on. And then you did go off to University of Texas.
Yes.
Which the Longhorns are having a great year, right?
They are.
Yeah, had a little stumble there in midway, but we'll get through it.
Right.
So no, it's nice to see. And then Huffman, man, that's Huffman is such a cool community. I've done events out there for their they do a back to school for their teachers that they ask a lot of business owners to come contribute to. And you want to talk about a great group of teachers, man. They have it going on at that ISD. I can promise you.
Oh yes, we will not move from there. I was at that event with you as well. They're great groups. They have all the equipment and their facilities are from us as well. So I just have so many friends out there, and the teachers are amazing.
Yeah, and I've met some administrators from that team, and everyone, they're involved, right? So they're not an ISD that's scared to step outside their geography. I met some of your administrators at believe it or not, a Kingwood baseball fundraiser at the country club for a golf deal, and it was pretty cool. And I was able to congratulate him on what he's done with his teachers, because from all accounts, right, the everyone that talks about Huffman, they say give it a chance, and it's an impressive ISD from what I understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So okay. Well, cool. Well, thank you for coming again. And I wanted to get down the path towards let's understand Platinum Copier Solutions a little bit. I think we know about what you do and how you do it, but why don't you explain to us a little bit about broad, big picture, what Platinum Copier Solutions does as an organization, how they can help businesses, and then we'll go into some of the weeds after you give us a big picture view of that.
Sure. So the owner of the company is Kimberly Gonzalez. She started the company about 17 years ago. We are 100% woman-owned Hub certified. She was heavily into we are still heavily into the chambers and everything. We're about in every chamber in the state of Texas, feels like. And she was part of BNI as well for many years. It's just how she started the company. We're just here to help you guys with your office equipment in any ways that you need, copiers and all.
Yeah. The one thing I've learned about the businesses that choose to get involved in chambers of commerce are typically business that want to put a better foot forward, right? I think we all understand we go to chamber events and we want to do networking and we want to meet the right people, the business decision makers in every environment and all those kind of things. But I think what I've learned most about the people that really fight to be involved in those chambers is that they understand the value of making sure they have those personal relationships and there's a follow-up point, right? So Andrea can't go to a chamber event if she's burning businesses or burning bridges with businesses around the community, right? So I think that's an important lesson to understand and make sure that, if you are a reputable business in our community, consider joining one of those, multiple of those. I don't know if I go down the path of platinum because like Andrea said, me and her went down a path a few weeks ago of looking through chamber websites in our community, and it was, yep, there's platinum copies, there's platinum, and so it was really neat to see that Kimberly has chose to embed herself that deeply in our community. So that is awesome.
Yep.
All right. So next, we wanted to talk a little bit about the weeds of what you do, right? You have Copier solutions, right? You've got multiple brands I'm sure you represent. I'm sure you have different types of fee structures that you can go through for a small business owner. So first off, let's go through who that business owner is. Who are the best clients that we need to think about when we're thinking about Platinum Copier Solutions? And then second, we'll go down the path of how do you guys structure your fees and how many different ways, different avenues can you support a business and change their outcome, hopefully to their bottom line.
Yeah, perfect. So we are a sole-owned Sharp copier dealer. So we only sell Sharp at this time.
Okay.
And we specialize in leasing, purchasing, and maintaining your copiers. So you can buy the copier or you can lease it. And after 3, 4, or 5 years, you can upgrade to the next one because technology is technology, right? So people tend to want to upgrade as they go on. And then we offer a lot of other office solutions as well. So if you want to know more about that, then just contact us and we'll let you know. Anything office related, we can handle you.
Okay, so when a small business owner has a decision, some of us run a lot of copies, right? And then some companies don't generate a lot of paper. It's just not part of their business. But whenever we call Andrea and we say, hey, Andrea, we're producing, and you have ways to, I guess, quantify that for the customer, for the potential client. So tell us the first step, and whenever you do have a business owner that says, hey, come take a look and see what you can do for us. What are some key questions that you need to consider walking in the door?
What are you currently using? How much are you currently running? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? What do you wish it did?
Okay.
Questions like that. Then they will generate the type of tier of which type of copier you're going to need for the future.
All right, good. So in that, and a lot of times you'll go, okay, well, they're going through, let's say, 2 reams of paper a week, which probably isn't a large quantity, right? In what you're considering to be a big player in the copier game, because some of these people go through 2 reams in half a day, right?
Right.
So in that world, what should a business owner consider when he's thinking towards purchase versus towards lease? Because I generally understand, I think, what it is, but to me, the lease in a smaller business type environment is such a cool thing because there's not a lot of responsibility for the business owner. I think the business owner has to report in some kind of usage per month or some kind of, how many clicks did we get through our machine? But generally speaking, that's their only responsibility. Make sure it's plugged in, and then everything's kind of done for there, correct?
Right.
Or am I right?
Well, correct. Even if you own the copier or you lease it, everybody still does a full maintenance package. Okay. And in that package, you get all of your parts, your labor, your toner, all of that is covered into that maintenance package, whether you own the copier or not. The leasing versus purchasing is really a personal thing. Do you want to own it? Do you want it as an asset? Do you not want to own it and you want to trade it in, just like a car? So kind of like the depreciation, right? Are you gonna, are you a business that maybe is large enough or small enough to consider that a depreciating asset? Correct.
So if you own it, you're going to plan on depreciating over X number of years, whatever the IRS and all their wisdom tells us, right? And then, but owning it, if you're, accountant, your financial structure is set up that way, sometimes owning it is the right thing. And then leasing it, basically, it's kind of like leasing a car.
Right.
It's just something that hits your bottom line, and it's an expense, and it's kind of over.
Right. Well, no matter what, we're going to maintain and maintenance that copier or printer until we can't get parts for it.
Okay.
So even if you own it or lease it, that's really a personal decision for you.
Okay, right on. So you have a team, I assume, of people that work on the maintenance side. That sounds like a pretty technical job. I mean, is that something that you do, or do you have a different group of people? And
So I can do just about anything but replace your parts.
Oh, wow.
Right. But just enough to get me in trouble.
Yep,
But no, we absolutely have an amazing maintenance team. We have at least 2 to 3 guys in every region waiting to help you so that your wait time is very minimal, if at all. But our maintenance team is amazing, and they all go through training, extensive training, and they're Sharp certified.
Yeah, right on. So one thing I always thought was really cool, and my guess is, if you don't think about someone's business like we are now, you don't think about some of the fine details that are pretty cool in your environment. One of the things we had, I worked for a transportation company over by the airport, and it was a very large building. We had about 300,000 square feet, so it was a big building we had, and we had multiple copiers in each corner of the building, right? So loadout would have a set of copiers, and on the other side of the warehouse we had offices and corporate offices upstairs. But literally everybody that came to do the maintenance on them knew they never had to ask anybody, "Hey, where are your copiers?" They had, like, I don't know if they had drawings on their. How do they do that? I mean, because that, to me, I couldn't find half the stuff in my own building, but yet the copier guy that would show up, and it'd be a different guy every few months, and he would know exactly. How do you guys map that? Just curious.
Well, whenever we take on a large account like that, yes, we do ask for a map, and we mark them on
really?
there so that we don't bother you guys.
Yeah.
But we don't want your workflow to slow down or anything like that. But also, there are some key places that people typically put their copiers. So, and the guys work the same region most of the time, unless they need to be pulled to another one. So there's a good chance that if you had that many copiers, that technician had been there a couple times
it
before.
was always, I don't know, I'd watch the guy park out in the driveway, and then he'd walk in, he'd get his badge, go through security, and I wouldn't see him for a couple hours. I'm like, I don't know how he knows where he's going, because I run this building. I don't know where all the copiers are. so that is always kind of cool. All right. So we got the leasing aspect covered, right? We've got, hey, what kind of maintenance solutions you have. Why do you think, or what is Platinum Copier's explanation of why should people use you? What is your value add that maybe other copier solution providers have that Platinum simply does better?
We absolutely love keeping a great relationship with our clients. We are spot on when it comes to relationships and keeping the clients happy. We do not make you wait at all. When you call in, somebody's going to answer within the first 2 to 3 rings. You always can talk to somebody about it, and we have a window of time to get back to you, and we always do it. So we're just reliable in that way. We also send out a feedback forms at the end of every install and every maintenance, so that you can tell us what we're doing wrong and how we can do better.
Yeah,
and it's always about the customer.
Yeah, feedback's a good way, right? Some people assume they're doing a good job.
Yes.
Right? So assumptions are dangerous. I think we all understand. But so I think the key words I heard, right, is you first, you have relationships, and you've proven that, right? Kimberly and you have proven that you find value in building relationships in our community. There is zero doubt about that. And then, so the proof is there. And then the second one, okay, you have a way to measure and monitor feedback to make sure that your service is above or at a certain expectation, and a way to solve or get better, continuous improvement type environment, right?
Correct. The other cool aspect about Platinum is, when was the last time you had a copier supplier that you could actually call the owner on their cell phone. You don't. Kimberly is always accessible on her cell phone, day or night, to answer any questions that you have. You're not waiting and waiting and waiting. She's always available, and so is her staff, which she trains them that way.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I love unfortunately, it's becoming more common in the home products. So let's say a home security system or a, things like that you have installed at your house, that they have it installed and you're talking to this great tech and really friendly kid or young man or young lady, and they're doing a great job. And then all of a sudden they walk out the door and something goes wrong. A few weeks later, a battery goes out and okay, here's the phone number they told me to call, and you're talking to somebody in a different country on the different side of the world. And where's the young kid? I know he hid my remote. Where did he? I don't need to talk to you, So it is a value, and I'm sure it's frustrating for people. And I guess Kimberly finds that frustrating herself and has put something in place in order so it doesn't continue, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what Platinum does for our community. A lot of us have a drive to get up in the morning, and it needs to be a little more than let's go make some money. That's a big part of what we're doing every day to get up. But we have to make our community better, and we have a great community that we all cherish. Obviously, you love the area of Huffman you live in. I live in Kingwood, and I have great feelings about it. And then I have great feelings about everything in the HKA area, Greater Lake Houston. It's all just a bunch of good people. And the only way I know it's good people is because every time we have some kind of nonprofit or some kind of community give back, it's the same businesses. We're all getting together to support each other and support our community. So what does Kimberly, what does Platinum Copiers, what are they giving back to the community? How are they helping support and make sure that, 10 years from now, this community still has that same feel?
Right. So currently we are going to be doing the MD Anderson Boot Walk in November for cancer. Okay. So boot walk means kick cancer out, and the entire company is going to be there to help with that. Then on Christmases and things like that, we tend to adopt some families and help in that way. Also, Kimberly is very big in the community for her employees to sponsor her employees' children on any of their sports events or anything to do with the kids of the company. We give back in that way. Yeah.
So MD Anderson Boot Walk, we actually interviewed yesterday one of the doctors from MD Anderson. He specialized he was a breast medical oncologist. And I'm not a doctor, so sometimes I screw up the terms, but that's what he had his label. And MD Anderson is huge in our community, and we have people forget what a blessing it is to have such a great hospital. I mean, they're the number one ranked cancer hospital in the world.
We're very blessed to have it here in Houston.
And I love to see that businesses connecting to that, right? So we have a great resource in MD Anderson, and then other businesses like Platinum Copier. Hey, they're doing an event. Let's get in on that because they're going to make it big. They've got enough employees to make any event huge, and then we can only help make it better, our community. So it is cool, and that it's an uphill battle, right? It is an uphill battle, and there's things that we've got to think about for people that are diagnosed, whether it's psychological or medical, or the impact on our community, the impact of the families. So given time to spend a little bit and reconciling that for yourself, I think is important, as well as, hey, we're there to support those family members and that are going through treatments and that are survivors, give them those support, all those kind of things. Yeah, right on. Perfect. And then you mentioned the adoption of the families during Christmas. That's always fun. There's plenty of families in need in the greater Houston area. I think we all know that. We all see it. We all feel it. Now's the time we need to budget a little differently, right? Does our kid really need that 12th package of Legos? I don't know.
I ask my kids that every day.
Yeah. So budget a little different, and let's give a little bit back for those that may not have the first package of Legos, right? All right, and then the youth events. Yeah, people, a guy I disagreed with this. I won't call him a mentor. He gave me a lot of advice when I was going into business, and some of it was valuable, but some of it was not. But we talked about the youth events and should we sponsor those, and hey, should you put marketing dollars towards that? And he called that, what did he call it? Feel good marketing. And I was like, oh, okay. What do you mean feel good marketing? He goes, well, you're not going to get anything from it, so you just say it's feel good. And I was like it was almost being derogatory towards it. I'm like, but that's why we're here, right? It's not I'm not hoping to sell a bunch of my widgets because my shirt's on the back of my kid's soccer jersey. My goal is
to help the team.
Yeah. Yeah. So somebody provides, right? And guess what? The lawyer that's also on the team provided the shorts, and the disc provided really the same 10 parents that coached all provided something. It just looks better, right? So no, I think that's important as well, and I'm glad that she views it as something that as a give back, right? Because when you see that brand on the back of something, it gives you a little bit of pride. Even it's on a Saturday, and I'm out running around, all of a sudden a girls softball team runs by, and I'm like, I know Platinum Copier Solutions. I know those guys. So yeah, so it's pretty neat, and no, congratulations on that. All right, so I went through kind of what I like to disclose, what I like to discuss. Is there anything that I failed to discuss before we get into your contact information?
Basically, if you have any office equipment that is outside of copiers, I would just love to get in touch with you, and I would just like to meet everybody in the community and just see how I can help, whether it's in work or personal.
Yeah. And so they are Platinum Copy Solutions, but they do have other office products, right? We're not going to get into the weeds of all the different things, but if it's electronic and it's in your office, more than likely, if they don't have it, they are a good resource to tell you how to get to it. So, all the little things that we all need are something they can provide. They've got a better pricing structure because they are a larger supplier in the area, so they typically can get you breaks as opposed to going to the big box stores. And then you're buying from somebody local that a lot of those sales tax, a lot of those dollars are coming back to our community. So right on. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's one thing I want you to talk about was your tag. I think it's funny. Say your tag real quick before we get into your contact information, so I don't forget.
Okay, I'm Andrea Shen with Platinum Copier Solutions, saving the world one copier at a time. Let us help you make your office sharp.
Yep. So that reminds you on a lot of levels of what they do. So they are a copier provider and solutions team. They've got the maintenance side covered. They're very embedded in our community. How would you like for people that are listening, people that are on here, how would you like for people to contact you and your team?
If you would like to contact me personally, my email is Andrea, ANDREA, @platinumcopiers.com. If you need somebody else in my team or me personally on the phone, the number to the office is 281-645-4036.
All right. And you have a website, and what is that?
www.platinumcopiers.com.
Awesome. And if you do want to drive in, I tell everyone whenever I'm like, Platinum Copiers right there on 1960, because you guys do have it is a gorgeous office space. I mean,
you can't miss it.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty. It's the fenced-in area that's about halfway in between Humble and Atascocita, and it's just a pretty little spot. So, drop by if you need to. Anything else we didn't disclose there, Andrea?
I don't think so.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming back by. I hope we got the corrections the way you wanted them, and I look forward to continuing this partnership with you.
Thank you.